your comments and thoughts, of course. Let's see. If anyone can see me, let me know. Haven't gotten the notification yet.
Out.
Okay, looks like
we are
live.
Running.
Oops.
But good afternoon.
Sorry about that. All right, so everybody, today the governor finally announced that schools are going to be closed. Oh my gosh. I know that probably wasn't unexpected for most people, but also probably completely threw people off. Wow.
Things.
Oh, hold on. I gotta shut this volume off. All right, cool. Thanks, Felix. All right, so I got my comments up. We're going. We're working. Awesome. All right, so the governor announced that schools are closed. I know that even though it wasn't a shock, a lot of parents and a lot of teachers were definitely taken back by the news. Hey, Andy Plagianos. Hey, Ken, Felix. I really, I think it was probably the best decision. I did see, I wrote a note because I wanted to report properly. Thanks everyone that's texting me and letting me know you can see me. Awesome. Thank you guys. So schools are closed. The school districts have to get back to the state and let them know if they're thinking about doing any summer school or anything like that. I don't think it's my impression from what I'm listening to isn't like a mandatory summer school. It's like regular summer school, but I could be wrong. It looks like camps are all part of the like regular reopening plan, that each day camp or sleepaway camp, they have to come up with their own plans to present and follow whatever the new rules are going to be. I also wanted to give a shout out to childcare. So hey, my sister is watching. Hey, sister. Hey, Michael. Hey, Robert. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. I'm seeing the hug emoji. That has not come up on my Facebook yet. I'm not allowed to hug anybody for some reason. What is the deal? It's kind of like a stimulus check, like they're rolling out slowly but surely, making sure everyone gets it. School closure coincidences with me approving my daughters for graduation. That is a coincidence, Andy. Mm-hmm. So I want to give a shout out to child care workers because they are not getting a ton of recognition out there. And child care has closed depending on the center and the program. But the Child Care Resource and Referral Networks, which on Long Island, that's the Child Care Council of Suffolk and the Child Care Council of Nassau, they have been working their butts off, making sure that the providers have the things that they need and that they're in compliance and that everybody is safe, and working with the counties for the essential worker child care. So I wanted to give a shout out. I do a lot of work with child care in the early childhood field in general, and child care workers and the Child Care Network, and now with schools closed, no volume. Hopefully that's already been fixed. I might have been muted, unless that was your own computer, Sue. I'm not sure. But good afternoon, Susan and Rich and David, and I think I got everybody that I've seen pop up. So child care centers are open depending on the site, but obviously they're going to need a plan going forward when people start. Totally can hear you. Great. Thank you. When people do start returning to adjustment for families, for everybody, we still have a long road ahead of figuring out how this is all going to roll out. I saw a picture on Facebook today. There was a big protest in Comac today. I'm assuming it is people that want to get back, like the people that are pushing for the quarantine to end. Hey, Nick Jones. I'm glad the hug emoji made you think of me. So I saw a picture, and I didn't actually know what the protesters were for, but they had lots of American flags, so I'm assuming they're those people that think quarantine is a freedom being taken away. Very interesting. Meanwhile, today is International Workers' Day, or Labor Day, known as all over the world. We like to be different here in the United States, so we have Labor Day in September. However, I did want to recognize also, besides those wonderful childcare workers, that Amazon, Instacart, Whole Foods, Walmart, Target, FedEx, a bunch of workers were going on strike today because it's International Workers' Day. So what perfect day to start. But what they're saying basically is that there's been all sorts of things going on, not getting compensated for time off since the pandemic started, no hazard pay or sick pay, and wanting those things for the duration of the pandemic. A lot of employers have not been giving their people protective gear or enough sanitary, supplies, cleaning supplies, and wanting to make sure the stores are thoroughly cleaned, and transparency and communication between the leadership and the teams. So apparently there were some stores where employees got sick and they didn't shut down the stores and do proper cleanings. So they went on strike today. I have no idea how it'll affect us, but we should stand in solidarity with them, because obviously anyone that is putting their life on the line for all of us and being out there, we should give them our support and want everyone to be safe and healthy, because too many people are dying. As much as we are gratefully flattening the curve and things are, we can kind of feel that anticipation of things starting to open again. Hey, Bonnie. We have to continue to, do what's right for everyone and make sure that we are taking precautions. So I know I stand with those workers, and I wanted to give them a shout out today on International Workers' Day. So, all right. Sue, no clue. I assume that was in reference to your hearing me. Gin and tonic in that glass? No, I'll wait for after to have my gin and tonic. That is just water and lemon. I feel like you should be so happy. You're always giving us these wonderful suggestions on how to stay healthy. So many of you saw my post on Facebook the other day that I had a migraine, and people were like, oh my God, are you getting sick? Do you have COVID? No, I don't. I get migraines. The first time I got a migraine, I was, I think, 10 years old. I know I was in 5th grade. And I went to the nurse's office, and my favorite thing to eat at lunch was a chocolate eclair, like the ones you get at the ice cream man, but they used to have them in school. I don't know if they still do. And I must have had one of those for lunch, and I had a really bad migraine, and I was a baby. I was 9 or 10 years old. And I went to the nurse, and instead of throwing up in the toilet like normal person, I threw up in the sink. Chocolate eclair. I was 10. That was a long time ago. I can remember it like it was yesterday. And the nurse wasn't really happy with me, but I think she felt bad. But anyway, so me getting a migraine is not me having COVID. It is me having a migraine, which I've had for 30 years. So not unusual for me. And you'll be happy to know I am feeling much better today, thank goodness, because it lasted for 2 days. And this morning I still had it when I woke up, and poof, magically it's gone, because that's just how these things work. So thank you for anyone that was asking and checking in on me. I appreciate it. So what else do I have for you today? Before I forget, I did want to, the Governor's Comedy Club team had sent out an email to the hosts. You may be hearing this message if you watch a lot of GovsRadio shows. Oh, you know what? I want to share this to my page. I almost forgot to do that. So you may hear this message again, but sorry, everyone. Okay, good. It's been shared. Okay, so you may hear this again from other hosts, but I did want to share because they asked us to make sure people knew. Governor's Comedy Club is 3 different sites. The Brokerage in Belmore, the Governor's in Levittown, which is usually where we're streaming these shows from, and McGuire's in Bohemia. I know they're anxious to get open like everyone else, but they've been cleaning and sanitizing and making preparations for the future when they are ready to open. They're going to be cutting back on capacity. They're trying to do stuff, I guess, like set up the room so that it's going to be social distance friendly. But they've been cleaning. They have paper menus. Worst thing I vomited was 30 mozzarella sticks. Yeah, I didn't say that the chocolate eclair was the worst thing I vomited. I just said that was the first time I remember having a migraine, and it was gross and horrible, and my poor school nurse, and it's never gone away ever since then. But no, I've thrown up worse things, but I don't know if we really want to talk about that right now. But I think it's a good conversation. But anyway, so yes, thank you for cheering me on. I'm sure that was in reference to my headache. There's a delay for anyone that's newly watching, so it's always a little bit behind the comments you have to catch up. Could be worse. You could have had a good humor strawberry short. Ugh, but I wouldn't have that, Felix. I don't do strawberry shortcake. I like strawberries. But if I'm having ice cream or cake or candy, it's like I'm a chocolate girl. So yeah, chocolate. So anyway, governors will be, keeping up with when they're ready to open, and they're excited to do so. And in the meanwhile, so they've been having something on social media. Thanks, Ken Pichelle. Belmore, Bohemia. Sorry, that's Ken Pichelle's line, but I just wanted to bring light to it. Joke Off. The comedy Joke Off contest is happening. So what they want you to do is follow Governor's Comedy Club. Now remember, it's different than Gov's Comedy Radio. Governor's Comedy Club has a Facebook page and an Instagram page, and they're going to be posting the jokes. I don't know if they're videos. I'm not sure about that part, but whatever the post is about the joke, and then you can vote by putting stars in the comments. So 4 stars is the best. 1 star means you didn't think it was very funny. And they're having a great joke-off contest, so get involved with that. I think it's too late to turn in the jokes, but you can go be part of the voting and let people know if they're funny or not. So all right, quarantine life. So this is supposed to be about what I've been doing. This is my 3rd time doing quarantine life. I was so lucky to be the first one that kicked this off about a month ago. A little less than a month ago, and then we went through the rotation of people that were doing it, and now I'm actually the first of the next one. Not that you know, because you're just doing, watching every day at 2 o'clock. But we have started a new round of hosts, and so I'm kicking it off again. But it's Friday. It doesn't feel like I'm kicking off anything. We've been here, done that before. My dad's bank is closed. Now I have to figure out how to deposit his checks. Oof. Can you do mobile deposit? That might be the way to go, Bonnie. Sorry. Or another branch? I don't know, because I can't help you. I don't know which bank I can't help you. Anyway, so how am I feeling? How's quarantine life been treating me? I feel like it's pretty typical of anything. Like it's all or nothing. Like I either have a million things to do in a day, my phone rings nonstop, I have a webinar I want to jump on, I don't know, I'm getting a million text messages, or I hear from no one. It's kind of typical. My weekends were generally often like that. Anthony Rodia, no sound, what's up? I don't even know what that means, Sue. Why are you tagging Anthony? We love Anthony. Haven't seen him in a little while. I haven't anyway. Oh man, I read Joke Off totally wrong and they're watching. Nice. Oh, I was gonna say only you, Plajanos, but I feel like that Bosie could have made that comment as well. He would have said it a little different, but anyway. So yeah, I feel like life is kind of all or nothing, which is a little annoying. And I think I hear a lot of people talking about how they're having sleeping issues, even if they're not feeling the stress and anxiety, still feeling like their sleep is off. And I'm really into energy and, how we all affect each other and how the earth moves and, sound corny, whatever, that's how I feel. So I believe that even if you're not feeling the stress and anxiety, we're all kind of affected by what's going on and how things have shifted so much. And I definitely am dealing with that as well. I never really sleep well, but I think it's worse. And it's weird. A lot of people, because they're not getting up for work or something, they're sleeping really late. I get up 5 o'clock, 4:45, and not intentionally. Even 7 o'clock, really early for me to be up and ready to go. I've been waking up really early. And then I think similarly, besides the sleep thing and people sleeping off, I think being moody is a common thing right now. We all feel a little off. I know I could be really grouchy and then, great on another hand. it just depends on the day, and but it's really interesting, right? So, I have my ups and downs, and I feel, it gets really lonely. I haven't hugged another human being in over 45 days. Like, that's just so crazy, and I'm a huggy person, which might have been why Nikki was thinking of me when she saw her hug emoji before. Fortunately, I have Leo, my pup, so that's nice because he cuddles with me when he wants to. Mostly follows me around wherever I go and makes me trip over his feet, over my feet, his feet, whatever. But yeah, so fortunately for Leo, but then what I wanted to share was like, then there's this whole flip side, right? Um, you might think I'm crazy, but I feel like we are so lucky to be alive right now. Like, it is the time, the world is shifting. So there's a lot of heartache. There's a lot of death and pain and sickness. I'm not going to take, that away from anyone. And, I know what grief feels like. So I really want to honor what people are going through. And I haven't lost anyone myself that I've been close with, but people I'm close with have lost people. And so certainly we're uncomfortable. I am unemployed for the first time in many, many, many years. If you don't know me, I am driven by my work, and my work is my life and my passion. I don't just work a 9-to-5 job. I work to help families and community and hold people accountable and make the world run better and support people. I mentor a lot of people, and to be out of work is like, huh? What? What do I do with myself? So there's a lot of comfortability, uncertainty. I know I don't have a job to go back to. A lot of people aren't, even like I was talking about summer camps before. Some summer camps that close, they may never reopen. I mean, there are a lot of businesses like that. I'm sure there's a lot of restaurants and small businesses like that. If they didn't get the support they needed, that may never come back. So there's a lot of people that may not have work to go back to. So again, uncertainty, uncomfort. Why do I say this is the best time to be alive? Because I also look at it as an opportunity to reinvent myself, right? So I'm actually excited about the new opportunities I'm not saying it's not scary. I'm not saying it doesn't come with fear, but there's so much potential because everything is going to be new, and it's certainly going to be new for me. And I just, again, I don't want to sound corny, but I felt like I wanted to share that because we're all so frustrated and we're feeling the weight of it. And like I said, I go back and forth with that too, literally, hourly, daily. But I've really more than not been in a really good place and been really excited about what's to come. And, like I mentioned on Chick Chat, like trying new things. There's so many like webinars and classes and just things to do and like things that you want to learn and create. And I know for me, I've been really taking advantage of that and thinking about setting goals. Something I've really been working on during quarantine life, is setting routines for myself. A mentor of mine recommended something like every day when you wake up, first I journal. I just like write at least 3 pages, minimum of 3 pages. Whatever's in my head, just like get shit out. Just get it on paper, just to touch base with like what's going on, right? And then I try every morning to like do something really positive. So whether it's watch some kind of YouTube clip, listen to a podcast, read a book, something, right? Just to I don't know, just to put myself in the right mindset. And but I'm trying to create routines for myself so I can keep going, so I can keep my eye on the prize. Again, that there's a lot of opportunity, that there's a lot of potential to come. And so, yeah, I've been really enjoying that aspect of this. Again, it's not easy, but it's good. We can choose. I've lost everything, right? I've lost everything, so I have everything to gain, and I'm using this time to really think about like what choices do I want to make, what things do I want in my life, and what don't I? Because at this point, there's nothing I have to move forward with except the obvious stuff. Yeah, I'm just sitting here hugging now, but only if I know you, huh? Anyway, so yeah, so I have choices. I can, of course, I have to be practical. I have to think about, paying the bills and keeping a roof over my head. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like it's okay to be vulnerable. I feel like it's okay to be embracing. The fear is always going to be there. So if your body shakes and if your voice cracks, you just keep on going. And that's where I'm at. So that's my little corny motivational share of the day. Hello, Jeff Bosey. Good afternoon to you. I may have to just keep doing it until it's more natural. That's right. I don't know what that means, but yes. So, what else do we have? Oh, so there was other good news I wanted to share. I was talking about the workers on strike. I was talking about the schools being closed for good and all our teachers and students that are not happy today. I do feel really bad. But we will get by. We will get through it. But in other good news, so one of my best friends who I knew. Oh, I actually will tell the story because this is a funny story, and then I'll get back to the point of why I brought her up. So this friend of mine, she and I went to elementary school together. We met in probably kindergarten, I guess, not pre-K. No, because pre-K was somewhere else. But anyway, and the moms are friends in PTA, and so, we did our Cabbage Patch birthday parties together and different things as a kid. And then, as any kid, when you go through school, your circles change. We always stayed friends and we were connected always, but we weren't, we didn't hang out all the time, but we were always friends through school. Great person, awesome, sweetest, kindest person in the world. So then we went to college, we went our own ways, and then we reconnected. Don't worry, I'll talk about Eric's yeast in a little bit, Mom. So anyway, she went away to school, whatever. We end up reconnecting at church. I was singing in church, and she was at church with her mom. And we see each other, we're all excited. We become friends on Facebook. So on Facebook, both of us are really into Broadway. It was before gay marriage was passed. We were really into like all things LGBTQ advocacy, like letting people know we needed marriage equality and rights, for the LGBTQ population and rainbows and this and that. And we were both always posting all this stuff. So, the stereotype, of course, is like, obviously, I'm looking at her Facebook page thinking like, oh, I think she might be a lesbian. And she's probably thinking the same thing about me. So we end up making a plan to go to dinner, and in my head I'm like, oh my god, does she think we're going on a date? I don't know, I don't know, what she thinks, because I obviously, I've always been very open and I really consider myself queer because I'm just kind of all over the place. And so so we went to dinner, and the funniest thing was that she thought she wasn't sure, I was thinking that either. We were not on a date. And we've been very, very, very close ever since. And it's just so funny because could you imagine you're going out with somebody you think is a friend, but you've seen all this stuff and then you're not sure. And we got a good laugh out of it. And now we are Broadway fanatics together and doing our LGBTQ rights stuff together. And it's awesome. But it was just very funny because neither of us knew if we were on a date. And we weren't. But that was a long, silly introduction to why I brought it up. She's a nurse. And I was very excited to read, I think last night, maybe this morning, because it all blends together, that in Huntington Hospital, 2 North, which is usually an orthopedic unit, they had become a COVID unit. As many hospitals, they were transforming their units to, from one thing to COVID, to whatever it was to COVID, because there were just so many patients. And if you follow me on Facebook, you've seen I keep posting. Again, my mom was a nurse in Huntington Hospital for almost 30 years. We have a lot of friends there. And my best friend, who I just told the silly story about. So I constantly keep posting. They update this whiteboard every day of how many patients they've sent home. And they're up to over 600. And then she also announced that the orthopedic ward is now being turned back into what it's meant to be and not a COVID unit anymore. So that's a good sign, because that means we really are flattening the curve. And I've heard that about other hospitals as well. Obviously, I have a little bit of a personal connection to this particular floor and hospital. So I was really excited. I'm so happy for her. She said it was like over 50-something days. And we all know, we've all heard the stories and seen on TV and social media the healthcare staff sticking together, and what those of us that aren't on the inside can't even imagine what they have probably been through in the last, how many weeks. And so we got to celebrate the good things, and the fact that units are turning back over to what they're supposed to be is really good news. So yay to Huntington Hospital. Shout out to you all, and shout out special to 2 North. So I'm glad that that is happening. Jeff, I don't know what that means. I mean, I know what you mean, but I don't know. Anyway, so let's see. What else do I have for you? Oh, so something else I've been doing, quarantine life. So I mentioned that I'm unemployed, and I mentioned that I'm someone that's going to jump and go and try to create and be innovative, because that's who I am. So I really want to be self-employed, and again, I do advocacy, I do leadership development. I want to be doing this work on my own instead of for people. And I have a couple different projects that I've worked with in the past that want to hire me, and so I need to become my own small business. I need to be self-employed so I could promote myself. And there's lots of things that I can do, and regular businesses, nonprofit businesses, whatever that I can help. So I'm on unemployment, and so I realized that if you're already self-employed, you can continue to receive unemployment, and they just do some kind of ratio of how much you get paid based on how much you're working or how much you're bringing in. But if you are not currently self-employed and you're on unemployment, you are absolutely positively not allowed to do anything. Like, do not apply for your LLC, which is the corporation. Do not launch a website. Don't really talk to people about what you're doing, because if they find out, it jeopardizes your unemployment. Like, even if you're not bringing in a single dollar towards that business, they consider it work. And so you can completely mess up your unemployment. So that, of course, brought me to a screeching halt on the things that I wanted to do. And then I find out there's this program called the Self-Employment Assistance Program that the state has, that the Department of Labor has. And I was like, oh, great. So you apply for this program. If you get in, they give you 13 weeks. You have to have 13 weeks of unemployment left. And it gives you time to start your own business while you are still receiving unemployment. So I'm like, perfect, because I got to pay my bills. I got to keep the roof over my head. But I really want to get this going because I have no job to go back to. Who knows what the future brings? This may or may not be something I could do full time, but why not give it a chance? And now is a great time to talk to people about it, feel it out, see what's or not, right? So I find out that this program, SEEP program, it's called for short, it gets shut down. Shut down? I'm sure I'm not the only one. I'm thinking of even things like Pampered Chef, right? People sell Pampered Chef from that's self-employment technically. People are cooking. Everyone's talking about, everyone's a chef. Everyone has a new cooking show because they go on Facebook Live. Just not you, Felix, because you're the real deal. So all these things, right? And so something like that people probably don't even realize that they might be jeopardizing themselves by starting that kind of business if they're self-employed. This program, or some kind of protection for people that want to be self-employed, is imperative. I am definitely not the only one thinking ahead. I know other people that have businesses like they sell soaps and they make hand sanitizers or whatever it may be. So the state needs to do something to protect self-employed, people that want to be self-employed. And so because I'm an advocate, and of course, if you tell me no, I'm going to start advocating for myself. Not something I always did, but something I've learned to do. So I have been working really hard to try to get the state to do something to improve this. And thanks to a friend who made a connection for me with Senator Gorin, he wrote a letter to the Department of Labor asking them to open up the program. And then Assemblywoman Mikhail Salaj, she's been working with with me as well, talking to the governor's staff and different people trying to make sure that this message gets out. And again, if they don't reopen the SEAP program, that's fine, but they need to put in some kind of protection. So I'm so glad that there's been some movement. If anyone that's watching this is in the same position as me or knows someone that would want to like talk about what they want to do or something, I don't know, that wants to join me in this advocacy, please let me know. But I'm going to keep it going because I really would like to start my business and I want to do it right so it could be sustained long past COVID-19. And again, need that unemployment because I need to keep a roof over my head. And so that's that. So that is what I've been working on. You may not find it very exciting. You may be watching and thinking it's really cool. I don't know. How could I know? Because I'm talking to myself. But that's what I've been doing. That's who I am. So, in other news, so I don't know if you all watch Chick Chat or people that are watching are just watching because you know me. But Chick Chat is our Wednesday show with my dear friend Eric Shevlins. And actually, before I talk about Chick Chat, again, quarantine life. So shopping, we all know, is a bitch, trying to find the things that we need. And there's been this like rush of like, let's make bread. Everyone wants to make bread. My sister made bagels. Oh my God, they look so good. And I was so jealous. Who makes bagels at home? That is so cool. I'm not a baker or really a cook, even though I'm pretty good at cooking. I am a cook now. I've been doing a lot of cooking. But I just thought it was so cool. So I'm like, you know what? I just want to make basic bread. I got to get some yeast. Well, who knew yeast was going to be the hardest thing in the world to find? So Mr. Shevlins, the nicest guy in the world. No, Eric is, if you need something, if you want to find something and you are like, nope, it's not happening, I can't find it, get Eric on it. He was a detective and then a delivery man. So he like searched all over. He called like a million different places trying to find me yeast. And it wasn't just for me. There were like 2 other people in the chat that day on Wednesday that were like, oh yeah, I need yeast. I can't find it. Da, da, da. So Eric hunted it down in New Hyde Park. Now, I won't reveal where Eric lives unless he wants to, but he doesn't live anywhere near New Hyde Park, and went and got the yeast and delivered it. You know, how we had our it wasn't quite 6 feet, but we had our handoff. And so now I have my yeast to make bread. But I just thought it was so cool. I really just loved that. I love Eric, you know, man, I love you. I love that you take the shirt off your back for people. Good friends have certainly been the heart of all of this, right? Of all of our survival, our good friends and family. So, yeah, Amy, see, you're feeling my excitement about new time to self-improvement and try new things. Absolutely. I agree completely. Amy's my cousin who we share a birthday. Freaking love her. So glad she's watching. Thanks, Amy. Eric rocks. I've had a lot of really good, nice people. A lot of, look, we are really good at looking out for each other in times of crisis, and especially when we're all feeling the crisis. So Eric Yee's story may sound so silly, but it was really kind, and he went really out of his way. And my aunt brought me a huge box of food, produce, and you probably saw my picture. She gave me this giant thing of ribs. I've never made ribs in my life, but I am going to make those ribs this week. And steak and chicken. I'm gonna make buffalo wings today. Very excited about it. But we're all looking out for each other. And on Easter, my neighbor made me a dish of food to have for Easter dinner. Didn't go over and eat it with them, but she left it on my stairs for me. It's those little things. Someone sent me flowers yesterday. My good friend Melissa. She sent me these beautiful, I guess, tulips. Just like these little nice things. I love seeing how everyone's looking out for each other. And please, I can keep naming people, but I don't want to play romper room. But shout out to Nikki and Pam and just so many. Linda. Linda listens to all my frustrations. Thank God for you. Anyway, not funny to everyone if I can talk about inside jokes. So, okay. So, back to Chick Chat. So, Eric and I haven't talked about this other than it coming up for a few minutes on the show the other day. But I kind of wanted to hear from people whether or not they think, yes, please leave your shirt on. Eric doesn't have to take his shirt off. I'm just saying if you need him to, he's willing. That's what I feel about Eric. So, okay, so Chick Chat. It was like an inside joke between like the GovsRadio regular listeners, right? Should Eric and I like talk about like, do we need to change the name or does it resonate with the world? Like, are we really Chick Chat? I don't know. Just something that came up on Wednesday. I hadn't even thought about it really until then. I mean, I kind of like crossed my mind, but then it came up somehow in conversation. Oh yeah, because they were talking. Someone brought up how that was Carrie Crevasis, whatever her name. Forgive me, I'm forgetting her name at the moment. I think that was who it was. That she used to have a podcast that was called Chick Chat, and she had changed the name. But it made me think about it. So I'm just putting it out there if anyone wants to share their thoughts with Eric or I about that. Because, I don't know, if it was too insider and maybe while we're pushing it out to new fans and new viewers and watchers, if we need a new name. Even though Chick Chat is pretty good. Even though we've never had our frozen frothy drinks on the show. So, yeah. Oh, one more thing. I have one more thing. And then that's really it. So Sunday, I am going to be doing another singing show from my own Facebook page, Facebook Live. Songs from my living room. It's a title I actually came up with. I won't retell the whole story because many of you had already watched it. But I did a show last year in the city at the Dramatists Guild, thanks to my good friend Jenna. And hey, Robin, I was just talking about our yeast. So at the Dramatists Guild, right in the heart of Times Square, it was so awesome. It was a Broadway cabaret show. And it was because I usually sing in my living. I haven't been in a band in a couple of years. I'd gone back to school. I was doing a bunch of things that just prevented me. It takes a lot of time to be committed to performing, and we were performing every weekend. So I took a break, so it was songs from my living room because all I was doing was singing in my living room. And I felt like I need to get out. So I've just kind of stuck with the title because now, ironically, I'm literally singing in my living room. When I do my Facebook Lives. So, I'm doing another show on Sunday. I haven't gotten as many requests. I didn't quite put it out there in the same way, because I think I mentioned on Wednesday, I get really weird requests. Not weird, I love the requests. They're just too hard to do without musicians backing you up. The karaoke tracks are not very, first of all, you can't find them for a lot of songs, especially if they're real, like, deep tracks. And then, sorry, I was laughing at Robin. The yeast thing made me laugh again. So it's not always easy to find the songs that are requested. And then plus they have to be in the right key and they have to have the right tempo. And the tracks are a nightmare. Listen, I'm not pretending to anyone. I think I'm doing this like amazing Barbra Streisand concert. Like I have an orchestra behind me or a band behind me that's like kick-ass. Like, no. The tracks suck. I don't have the equipment here to like set it up that the balance is right between my voice and the track. There's so many things wrong with it. But I'm so glad I could sing. Singing is like the most healing thing for me besides dancing or along with dancing. And I love that people have been requesting. Nothing I love more than people that enjoy me singing and tell me that, because I don't sing just because I can. I sing because it's really meaningful, and I can feel like, I don't know, I could see why people get labeled like a diva. Not being a diva, but I just don't want to sing if it's not meaningful to me. I don't want to sing if it's just like, I don't just sing to sing. I sing because I guarantee every song I sing, unless it was requested, and then maybe the only reason I'm singing it is because I care about the person that requested it. But I sing because I have a meaning behind every song that I do. So, So yeah, that's what I will be doing again on Sunday. It's a little Lilith Fair-y. I thought about almost doing just like a straight Lilith Fair show, like rocker or acoustic chicks from singer-songwriters from the 90s, because that's like my favorite. But there might be one or two Broadway songs and a few other rock tunes, but it's more going to be in that rock pop genre. We'll see. There might be a few surprises in there. I like to keep it random. So that's what I got. So Sunday night, 7 p.m., tune into my Facebook page. I know the Govs people often share it out. GovsRadio, Comedy Radio shares it out, but it'll be live on my page. And please share it. Please get people watching. I would love to have you all join me Sunday at 7. Oh, that's not a May calendar next to me, so I don't know what the date is. Today's the 1st, so it's the 3rd. May 3rd at 7 p.m. Love. Aw, thanks, Robin. I feel the same way about you. Robin was on News 12. Oh, my God. If you don't know Robin Eve, besides the fact that she writes her own music and it's absolutely beautiful, and Robin fortunately plays the guitar, so she gets to back herself up. Biggest regret of my life. I've tried to learn. Doesn't work. But she has also this, like, the most beautiful eyes and the most beautiful smile. So, like, you put on the comes up on the screen, and I was like, oh, beautiful sound. She looks beautiful. I don't know. She's just a stunning human being inside and out, and her music is awesome. And I was just so proud of you, Robin. I've known Robin a long time. So just giving her a little extra love. All right, my friends, it is not quite 3 o'clock, but the thing about quarantine life is it doesn't have to be a full hour. It just has to be whatever it is. And I am out of things to talk about in my quarantine life because the rest of it's pretty boring. I haven't even watched a good show to tell you about. Yeah, you already heard about my stupid thoughts on Bad Education. I watched, what is that? Little Fires Everywhere? Did I talk about that one? It was really good, but I won't get into my rant about why the ending was sort of ridiculous. People just don't learn that fast. That's all I'm going to say. But it was good. It was good overall. And otherwise, I haven't really been watching anything because I'm busy being me and doing all these other things I'm talking about. So I hope you all have a lovely day. It is Friday. So yay for Friday, even though we all can't go, to happy hour or to dinner or have some amazing plans for the weekend. But we make the best of it. Have a good night. Tune in Sunday on my page at 7 p.m. If you don't know, I'm Danielle Asher. And thank you so much for watching. I will see you on Wednesday on Chick Chat at 11 a.m. on Govs Radio. Thanks, everyone. Bye.